Hey everyone, this is Pokemon Freak 16 and as I promised you, here's a video with my opinion on the different COD games. I will be covering CoD4, Modern Warfare 2 and Black Ops. I have not played COD 2 or 3 and I've only played 2 hours of World at War. So I will not give any opinions of that since it's not going to make give the games justice. So here we go. In the background is going to be some CoD4, Modern Warfare 2 and Black Ops gameplay as I talk about the games. Alright, here we go. CoD4, released in 2007 by Infinity Ward. I think CoD4 was a very revolutionizing game when it first came out. It brought in kill streaks, perks, and all that good stuff. I'm going to talk about the games, mostly about the when a game was at its top, like at its prime. Then CoD4, I will say the problems and the good things about the games too. So don't you worry, I will not bash on your favorite game. Just don't worry. At least not too much. But anyway, CoD4. It did bring in kill streaks. I think it had a nice variety of different guns with single-shot firing weapons as the M14, the G3, and then it had the AK-47, MP5, AK-74U, all that good stuff. The M16 and MP5 was considered the best guns in the game. You may even say overpowered, but I don't think they're... I do think they're very good guns, but not that they're overpowered. That means that they outshine every gun in the game in every aspect, and I don't think they do. But remember, this is all opinion based, so you might have a different opinion. Good for you if you do. But anyway, let's just continue on. CoD4 did have a few problems. And when I say few, I mean pretty big problems. Nowadays people say, oh, CoD4 is so perfect, there's no problems with it at all, and they're wrong. If they just open their eyes and then just look back at 2007 and 2008, it did have frag times 3, Juggernaut, Martyrdom. I mean, those were big problems. Maybe not Juggernaut, it balanced out stopping power, in the sense that it balances out. It basically makes stopping power like you would kill with a normal gun without stopping power. Basically, if you have stopping power run into someone with Juggernaut, or Juggernaut run into someone with stopping power. Basically, it makes it a fair gunfight, just like if someone would use stopping power against another stopping power. But that's just another point. Oh, that's I think the same point. I just don't know. But yeah, frag time 3, basically frags were almost like noobs from Modern Warfare 2, we'll get to that. But frag times 3, you can basically just chuck grenades like all day. And with Martyrdom, you would drop a grenade just as you die. As I said, grenades are very powerful, they're very deadly. You will die almost instantly if you were close to a grenade. I mean, even if you were not close to a grenade, it would kill you, because it was so powerful. Map balance. Well, there were some maps. Bog, basically, if you were be spawn trapped on that on the seaside in Domination especially, it was almost impossible to get out of that spawn if you were not on a good team. So, and the spawns, they could be just random. I mean, it was almost impossible to switch the spawns, to swap or switch the spawns. You could run into sea, and it you were to run like very far into the spawn to make it switch. So you could spawn on top of a guy. I've done it before, or right in front of a guy. Like, they spawned you. It was the same problem as Modern Warfare 2, which I'll get into with the spawns. It could be total chaos, but it could also be that they spawn you basically almost too close to the action. So the enemy wouldn't have any... They wouldn't be able to get out of the spawn. But with that being said, I still think CoD4 is a very fun game. I mean, if you take out any of the, as you could call it, bullshit out of the games, it's some very, very fun games. I still think CoD4 is a very good game. I'll get to which one of these games that are my favorite and in which order at the end of the video. But yeah, CoD4, it has some problems, but but I think it'll revolutionize the online first-person shooter. I think that is the online first-person shooter that got people into the franchise. I was playing Halo 3 at the time, so I didn't get to play it as much as at its prime. I started really to play it before Modern Warfare 2, and then generally the Call of Duty game that you played first is your favorite, but that's generally the thing that goes on. But anyway, I think that's enough said about CoD4. It did have its problems. I mean, no games are perfect. But anyway, let's just jump right onto Modern Warfare 2. What can I say that hasn't been said already about this game? I mean, everybody has been beating this game to death, talking about it to death basically, but I'll give my point of view on it. Modern Warfare 2 was released in 2009 by Infinity Ward. Once again, they brought in a few more elements to this game than they did in CoD 4. More powerful killstreak, you might even say more too powerful killstreak. Killstreak basically dominated the game. If you would get your Harrier up, then Chopper Gunner, then the nuke, and even if you would get the Harrier up, you were basically set for a couple of more kill streaks. There were Cold Brother Pro and the Stinger missiles, but it was not used very much to take down this, or not at least the first months of the game. But hey, what I say, give my opinions. Sometimes I just lose myself. I guess I'll begin with the good things about Modern Warfare 2. It was fast-paced, but fast-paced does not always mean good, if you know what I mean. Basically, I had this analogy, or whatever it's called, I maybe said it wrong, a few days ago about Modern Warfare 2 being almost like the Joker from Batman. That on the outside it may look fun, but deep down it's really the devil that is like insane and you can't control it, if you know what I mean. With one man army daily close noob tubes, Commando, Last Stand. Oh right, I forgot to say that Last Stand was also in CoD 4. It's annoying, but it's not a big deal. It's just an annoyance, but One Man Army, Daily Close, Commando, it was a huge deal when the game first came out. Nowadays, people say this, oh, this Modern Warfare 2 is such a perfect game, there's nothing wrong with it. But remember, 1 year ago, we were bashing on the game like there was no tomorrow, like, this is the worst piece of shit that has ever existed on this entire planet when it comes to gaming. But I say it's decent, but it's not amazing, it's not perfect, it's not the best game ever made. It's just, it falls in between, I think. And people also say that Black Ops has no gun balance. I could kind of agree with that, but then people say that Modern Warfare 2 has good gun balance. Bullshit! Modern Warfare 2 had almost no gun balance. The only guns that you would see were assault rifles. Assault rifles dominated your game. You would see these quick scopers, but okay, I can give my opinion on quick scoping first. Quick scoping, it is fun, but it's not fun if you have these mini little grises on your team that is basically destroying it, the fun for everyone on your team. And then just feeding the other team kills, you know, going for these trick shots and stuff like that. And the hacking was all over the place. There were glitches, there were stuff, there were... At its prime, Modern Warfare 2 was a very frustrating game. Looking back on it now, when I played it, I'll give it this much. When there's no noob tubing, no commando launching, no mini grises, it's a very fun and addicting game. I'll give it that. It did bring in more camos, more attachment, more guns. As I said, I don't think there's too much gun variety in the game. Assault rifles dominated the game. You would see, the only submachine gun that you would actually see was the UMP. That is the gun that was at the assault rifles level. But the rest of the guns, you would never see them. You would see SCAR HS, TARs, M4s, ACRs, the occasional AK-47, but it was unlocked at a very late level. And then you would see UMP. That was basically the guns they would see, and you also see the intervention. I don't get why you wouldn't see the Barrett. I think the Barrett is a better gun than the intervention, I guess. People will just hate on you at hard script. I just can't say enough of people in that game. And still I played it a lot because my friends played it, and then I played it with them just because I had nothing better to do. Sorry if I'm getting a little bit ranty about that. That's just what happens with Modern Warfare 2 sometimes. Feel free to disagree with me. That is what the comment sections are for, to disagree with me. But can I say anything more? Oh yeah, camping. With Scavenger, with Scavenger and one-man army, you would have infinite claymores and then just camp in a building, just put down claymores in every doorway and then just sit there and had nothing better to do. And then we had the fact there was no Juggernaut, there was nothing that could balance out stopping power. There was Cold-Blooded, but you would never see it. It was Lightweight, never see it. Hardline, Cold-Blooded, it was probably the most used of those, of that perk slot, except for stopping power that was used everywhere, like 96 times out of the times out of 100, like 96% of the times. Now I'm just throwing stats out of my ass, but you know what I mean. I don't think I have too much to say about Modern Warfare 2. The commander was bullshit. One-man army Denricos was bullshit. Complete bullshit. It was camping was a huge thing. Camping is in every first-person shooter, but I do think camping was a big deal, a very big deal in Modern Warfare 2. Not as big of a deal as in CoD4, at least not from my experience. But then again, that is my experience, so you may have had a different experience from the game. But anyway, now that I talked about Modern Warfare 2, let's just jump into Black Ops. Again, this game has been talked to death about, but I'll give my opinion. Black Ops brought in cow points. I think that was a good idea. Okay, boosters. I completely forgot about boosters. Boosters was a big deal in Modern Warfare 2. They destroyed every game of almost. You wouldn't be able to come into a game of free-for-all without any boosters being in the game and destroying for everyone there was in the lobby. Getting up Paris and then nuke boosting, headshot boosting, attachment boosting, and yeah, so I think the main reason why they brought in cow points is they wanted to get rid of boosting. I think I run into maybe 2 pairs of boosters in the entire time I played Black Ops, so I think they did a great job on the support, on the like no hacking. They got rid of hackers, boosters, modders, and all the stuff that drove me nuts about Modern Warfare 2. That's the main reason why they brought in cowpoys, I think. It was to bring in boosters so that you don't have to get all these headshots for your camos and all the stuff, but that kind of also takes away the challenge of getting a camo for those people that did not boost and want to earn their attachments legitimately. But that's just my take on it. It was not executed perfectly, but I still think it it was a idea. They had to try something. They wanted to try something and see if it worked. If it didn't, at least they tried. We have upon its release, Second Chance was a big deal about Black Ops. It's an annoyance, but it's not as big as annoyance as when it first came out. You remember that invincibility frame when they fell down to the ground and you can just shoot through them with your bullets and they would kill you as they fall into Second Chance with their primary. That still happens, but there's just not as many people. I don't think they still have that invincibility frame when they fall into Second Chance. I think they patched it, but I could be wrong, or I could just be lucky and kill them as they fall into Second Chance. And then we got Ghost. Ghost has been talked about to death. I don't have a big deal with Ghost. I don't have as big as a deal with Ghost as other people do. The thing about Ghost that I don't like is that they make the game slow paced, that they sit in corners, sit in buildings, do nothing than that. But me myself, I use Flakjager. If you watch my videos, I only use Flakjager when it comes to Black Ops, because I don't like getting killed by grenades and stuff like that. That is one thing I think they did very well. They brought in Flakjager and Tactical Mask, which makes you immune to stuns, and with Flakjager it makes you resistant to sorry for that. Resistance to explosives. I think that is probably the best thing they could have done with the game, bringing stuff. So, and they also toned down the noob tubes a lot. I mean, you could survive noob tubes even if you don't have Flakjager. That was a very rare case in Modern Warfare 2. Those noob tubes right at the start from games of Search and Destroy, and they would just sit and then just look one direction and then just launch noob tubes, and it would be impossible to get to a flag or get to a point or get to him. The guy that was blocking. So Ghost, yeah, it's annoying when they sit in corners and stuff like that, and the weapon, again, this game does not have the perfect weapon balance, but I do think it has the best gun balance of any CoD game. It's not perfect, but I still think it's good. The FAMAS is considered by many people to be the best gun in the game. It maybe is, but it's not my favorite. AK-74U was very powerful when the game first came out, especially with grip and rapid fire. I think what they should have done, instead of patching the grip to make it almost completely useless, is that they should have patched it so you wouldn't be able to use rapid fire and grip at the same time. It basically gave it no recoil. So that's just my take on it. I think it would be more used if they would have just patched it so you wouldn't be able to use rapid fire and grip at the same time. And then I think AK-74U would fit in well with the other guns in the game. Right now it just falls short from the assault rifles, which again, it dominates the game. I mean, you never see someone run around with an MPL, Spectre, Scorpion, and the other machine guns. The occasional AK-74U and MP5, but other than that you mainly see FAMAS, AUG, Commando, Galil, and those type of guns. Sniping was toned down a lot when the game was first released. As it is right now, I think it is just below CoD4 sniping. I think they should keep it at CoD4 sniping. I think that is when the sniping was the best. There was no Slyham Pro, so you couldn't be able to like zoom in like directly and do just that. I think CoD4 was the best when it came to sniping in the Call of Duty games. And Black Ops, they brought back gold guns. It was a few of them in Call of Duty 4, but there was only one in one gun class, and you had to get Red Tiger for every gun in that class to get, which basically means 150 headshots for every gun, which is a lot. So you could get gold camo for just, and remember it was in every game weapon class, like the assault rifles was the AK-47, and we had the Mini UC for some machine guns, the M1014 for shotguns, the M60 for LMG, Dragunov for the snipers. Those were the only guns that was gold guns. I like they brought back gold guns for Black Ops. And I'm just coughing because I've been recording this entire thing for a while. And I was screaming a lot because I've been getting my opinion out. And I also like the fact that you couldn't, like, infinity, that you couldn't replace your claymores infinitely. But they did have a counter this time with Hacker. They did have Citrep Pro back in Modern Warfare 2, but this time I just like to run. This time I just like to run fly kick because I can just run over those claymores. But yeah, I don't think I have that much more to say about Black Ops. And on the other game for that matter, I've been going on for over 20 minutes now. I know it's a long time, but hopefully you've been sticking through this. Now, the final verdict. CoD4, very good game, had its flaws, but it is my favorite game out of the Call of Duty franchise. Maybe it's nostalgic values, but I think it's the best game in the franchise. And then we have Black Ops. The Black Ops, I think, had a less bullshit than Modern Warfare 2. That's why it's better than Modern Warfare 2. It had less bullshit. I know it had lag, but fortunately, it didn't have too much lag from my side. It was the occasional, but overall, the game didn't have as much lag as other people have had. That's just, I guess, lucky from my side, but yeah. Modern Warfare 2 also had those spawns that could be all over the place, just like CoD4. Black Ops, I think they had the best spawn system. It was not perfect, but I think it was the best out of the Call of Duty franchise. Mainly, I'll say that all these games are fun. Modern Warfare 2 have its moments, definitely. It's the most frustrating out of the Call of Duty games. That's why I know it's a lot. It can at times be a lot of fun, but it's at number 3 because of all the bullshit that is in the game. It has the most bullshit in the game. That is why Black Ops gets second, Modern Warfare 3 gets number 3, and Call of Duty 4 is my favorite Call of Duty game of all time. Feel free to disagree with me, because I know everyone has their own opinion. And also, feel free to leave a comment down below of what is your favorite Call of Duty game of the series. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. See you guys. Let's make a thumb up that Modern Warfare 3 will hopefully be a good game. As good as CoD4, I'm hoping for that, but it's unlikely. But you can always hope now, can't you? So, I hope you enjoyed it. See you guys. Modern Warfare 3. Goodbye.